trade you a burger for some answers. I'm sorry.
You found out your entire life was a lie. If you found out your entire origin was a lie, how would you react? Would you just go on with your daily life, or just kind of resent the people who took care of you? Well, in case you haven't heard, the Adam Eve special dropped last week, shortly after the season 2 revelation trailer, after we got the big announcement that season 2 is finally coming in November. I am super hyped. If you guys don't know anything about me, Invincible is one of my favorite comic series of all time. It's just such a blast. I love the character of Mark Grayson. Battle Beast is one of my favorite characters. I could go on about Invincible and all that, but that's not the story of today's video. Today's video is going to be about the tragic origin of one of the most heartbreaking characters in the entire series. It often doesn't really get enough recognition, and that is the story of Adam Eve. So in this special presents Adam Eve, we basically get story about her origin and how she was made and why she is the way that she is. Unlike a character like Mark Grayson, which eventually has to go through hardships. Once he turns 18 or so, he suffers so much. And unlike him, who grew up having a loving father, a loving mother, friends, and people he can call home, Adam Eve is different in the fact that she didn't have any of that. If you've ever seen Star Wars, if you've ever seen the story of Anakin Skywalker, it's kind of similar. It parallels in a similar way, at least in the origins. While I was watching this special, the entire time I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of similar to the story of Anakin, simply due to the fact that they were both created by an outside force. They did not have a mother, they did not have a father, they did not have family, so to say. So the homeless woman in Adam Eve was basically just some random lady that the government picked up, abducted, and tested on it to create a super weapon, a human biological weapon, to turn into a super weapon that can disintegrate, that can rearrange atoms to the molecular level. And same thing with Anakin Skywalker. He was a child by the Force who was impregnated onto Shmi Skywalker. He basically had no father, similar to Adam Eve, who had no father. And they were both kind of taken in by a wise person later down the line. When Adam Eve was at her lowest, she encountered the scientist, Dr. Fred's work. I think that's his name. I forgot. Let's just call him scientist. But she was taken in by the scientist after she encounters him randomly after stopping crime. She encounters him and asks him questions regarding her origin. And once she finds out that her actual adopted parents are not her parents, she's kind of left in shock and disbelief. Not only that, the way she was told even before finding out that she was kind of adopted was her parents really resented her for not being normal kid, for not being a normal human. When she started to develop her powers at the age of say 3 or 4, I can't remember exactly, but when she started to develop her powers, they noticed that she wasn't normal. They noticed, okay, maybe she might be one of those special enhanced kids, so we're gonna send her to a special school, because she was really gifted at science and all that stuff, but she sucked entirely at math, history, anything that did not involve science or progression. She was basically kind of dumb at. She basically kind of sucked. Her power set is basically like that of Green Lantern. She can create anything that she imagines. But her parents and her friends that she meets along the line kind of resent her for being this freakish girl with superpowers. Why do you have superpowers? Why can't you just be normal? And it's very much stated throughout the entire episode that she really hates not being normal. She was grown in an environment where no one treats her like human. They treat her as an object. At some point, the government also starts to crack down and tries to hunt her. And when she is confronted by her biological siblings, which are basically genetic copies of her deceased mother sent after. And I gotta admit, the fight was one of the best fights I have seen in Invincible. Man, it was so animated, super well. That fight was really good. They ultimately die by her hands. It's pretty tragic because she realizes, I did have family and I couldn't do anything. I abandoned them even though I knew nothing of that. Eventually the government comes after her and they capture the scientist who was behind her creation, and after they abduct her, they explained that they're gonna use him for the future and to create more super weapons. And Adam Eve is really frustrated with this, that she can't be normal, she can't have a normal life, and like all she ever wanted to do was be normal. Her friends have always resented her, everyone around her does not like her. She tries to be a hero, but even her being a hero means absolutely nothing if people just look down on her because she's a woman, because she's a girl, because she's a freak of nature. She doesn't know what to do. And the sad part about Adam Eve is the fact that she tries her very best. Even later on during like the main series of Invincible, it's shown that she cares very much, but sometimes she just kind of wants to get away from the world. She knows her family doesn't really like her, and the only reason she's living with her family is the fact that she really has no one else. When she witnessed her mother being killed, her mother being like died at that test tube, like finally she was kind of like in shock, saying, I never knew my mother at all, I never knew anyone. And when the scientist just kind of like goes away, she doesn't know what to do. She really doesn't know what to do. And towards the end of the episode, we get to see like her returning home, and her parents, her adopted parents, are like, why haven't you been home? Where have you been? They don't really care about her. They don't know that she's a crime fighter. They don't know that she has went through like a life or death situation, and they do nothing to comfort her. Sure, they remember it was her birthday, but at the same time, they never bothered to look for her. They never bothered to like search for her. Just imagine growing up without a mother, with parents who hate you, your friends despise you. You try to be a superhero and everyone around you despises you. The government is after you. You were created to be a super weapon. Your life means absolutely nothing. You are a slave to your emotions. That's why I kind of say like her story mimics that of Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, who was basically a slave to his emotions. His entire life, he was used by the Jedi Order, by the Republic, by Palpatine. He was just used as a tool. But the only difference is Adam Eve suppressed her emotions, and she grew up and she understood what it meant to have hardships, unlike Anakin, who like fell a slave to his emotions and eventually turned down the path of Darth Vader. But with that being said, what did you guys think of the video? Did you like the special? Are you excited for season 2? With that being said, I'll catch you guys on my next video, so be on the lookout. Kaiju number 8 video with Shoko Tensei and a few other videos I have planned. So yeah, peace.